The Lions Club is here today to make a donation to the hospital of $100,000 to use towards the MRI machine. This is, as you can see, this fine group here is half of our members was able to make it today. Some had to work, some had other things up, but we're all here because we would like to see the hospital get ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
And the new one that we're going to purchase are the only ones that can do what we call tertiary care type MRI studies for specific patients that can't be done elsewhere. So in terms of access to care, everybody in our LIN, our geographic LIN, and beyond actually, will have access to this facility. So thank you so much for expediting getting to our goal. And it's just an unbelievably generous donation. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. I've had a number of fundraising projects under my belt over the years, and this is certainly one of the very worthy ones to do. And again, thank you to President Bob and all of you here for your inspiration and your gift. It's tremendously needed, and as it was said on a tour when I was here about a month ago, that there's about 1,000 people waiting on a given day to have an MRI. So clearly a second machine will significantly make a difference. And the Lions Club, I know, are committed to great fundraising or causes for their fundraising, and your gift certainly shows a strong commitment to our community and our hospital, and for that I thank you very much. We do know that the government is helpful for healthcare funding. They primarily focus on bricks and mortar, and so it's up to us as a community to bring the dollars forward for the equipment that is needed and the other supplies within the hospital, chairs, beds, etc. So again, thank you very much. Major contribution, and it's much appreciated. Thank you.
At this center, we deliver diagnostic imaging care for patients who have complex needs, who are fragile, who are very young, whose condition is changing rapidly, and they don't have the opportunity to get that care elsewhere within our local health integration network, which is what the LIN name means. So could I just invite questions, if anyone has any, about our current MRI, what the new MRI will look like, and about the care that we deliver here. When I say we, I really mean one of the people over there would want me doing it.
Question?
Yeah.
You said there were 5 MRIs in the area. What is the real difference between this one and the other?
So the other MRs in the area, there's 2 at the private clinic KMRI that are downtown, and there's 1 MRI at Quinte at Belleville Hospital, and then the one here, so then another one at Make It the 5th. The difference is the type of patient that we can do. So we're organized here to deal with ICU patients that may be ventilated, doing general anesthesia, little tiny babies that are less than a pound when they're born, very complex type conditions. So it's the whole environment of being in this type of hospital along with the MR that we focus on. So people, like almost all of us here, we would routinely maybe be referred down to KMRI to have our back, our head, our MRI down there if you're walking, talking, and ambulatory would be outside. Quinte services their inpatient population and very much an ambulatory care. Now the specialized care is done mainly here because you have all the specially trained radiologists that also, so you have cardiothoracic radiologists who do cardiac MR. You have pediatric radiologists who are involved with the pediatric children. So it's not just the unit itself, but it's all the supporting structures to that unit. And that's our huge demand here on our wait list, and hence the need for a second MR.
I'll just add to that real quickly, the other huge population that we service our oncology population for the cancer center because it's attached to the hospital. So the complex staging and follow-up MRIs that are required for cancer patients predominantly occur here. Some of them can be done in follow-up elsewhere, but the majority are done here. So we are the only, as Karen alluded to, we're the only site that does anesthesia type patients that anticipate before patients to have their MRI. So that's a service not provided anywhere else in our geographic. I use the term LIN, I apologize for that, the local integrated health network that we serve, which goes from Rockville and beyond to beyond Belleville, Trenton, so north to Hudson Cross.
This new MRI, where is it physically being worked?
Right out the window.
Right out the window.
On the patio.
No, on the patio, imagine.
Right on the roof of the,
Going out there.
Okay.
Are these MRI ready available?
So you mean the machine? So I'll attempt to answer this. The machine itself is probably fairly readily available. The construction to house the MRI machine will take some time though, because they need special shielding around it because it's a powerful magnetic force. So we have just received permission from the ministry to move forward with getting contractors to start bidding on the construction. So that's a very, very exciting step for us to be able to take. And we were able to do that because half of the money needed to achieve the full project has already been confirmed. We're hoping that by very late this year, we'll be in a position to say we've got it all in, but that's moving forward in the process of seeking bidders on the construction is moving forward within the next few weeks. So that's really exciting.
So that you're expecting that by the end of the year, we're almost ready to fire it up?
The construction will be a minimum of a year with all the planning, components. It's very complex and all the planning. You wouldn't actually physically see it here probably for 12 plus months because it's just, 12 to 18. There's a lot of planning, a lot of construction issues.
The reason I'm asking that, I know where the material comes from that you use in the walls to protect it. Not too far from here.
But I think interestingly enough,
75 miles.
of the $6 million, half of that is for actually the construction of the house.
Over half, yeah.
More than half. So it's really complex what needs to happen in terms of just even supporting these machines. So just in terms of reinforcing and construction. So we're optimistically hoping 12 to 18 months.
And there was another gentleman who had a question. Did you?
Why is that? The time frame for it.
Yeah. Yes.
Any group like our government match donations?
This one.
Not for capital.
No, there are many projects for which we receive 90% funding for bricks and mortar, but this was not a project that fell within that 90-10 scope.
So,
That's valid.
just can you confirm, Susan had mentioned a wait list. Can you kind of confirm what kind of numbers are wait lists for this current mission?
So we always have about 1,000 unbooked patients, 1,000 requisitions, which mean a person, a piece of paper waiting to get booked in. So, and we book and we fill, but then more recs are coming in every day, so it just replenishes itself. And we can never seem to break that number by too much. We might get down to 900, but then it creeps up to 1,000 again.
If I were wanting that, how long would it be before I got?
Okay, it depends entirely on the reason why you're having the MRI, because the province has 4 different categories for MRIs, and a category 1 is within 24 hours, it's an emergent urgent MRI. A category 2 is for inpatients within 48 hours. Category 3 is within 10 days, which is a lot of what our oncology population requires. And then the less urgent ones can actually, there's quite a wait list for it actually. So this is the key to actually having the access available. We can actually double our capacity going forward.
So with the new machine, how big of a chunk out of that 1,000 would it take? Would it completely cover it, or do you think it'll just get a good chunk out of that?
It should get the majority out of that because we do refer down to KMRI, the private clinic. So we send as many requisitions down to the private clinic as we can, and only keeping the ones that need to be done here. So in a month's time, we book approximately, what are we doing a month now, Sue, in case it's
KMRI or
with us.
Personal? KMRI's doing about 100 of our cases a month.
Yeah.
So
We do about 400 cases, 450 cases a month, 500 cases a month. So a second magnet, there's almost like 500 taking on that chunk right away on that wait list. And it is that tertiary care block.
and we're currently sending 100 of the non-urgent, what we call a category 4 or priority 4 case. We can send off to and the private clinic, just by way of an explanation, that's completely OHIP funded. It's not, you have to go in and sort of privately pay to have your MR done. It follows the same rules as every other clinic in the province. It's just that they're housed outside of the hospital. And it's actually a really good service because it's assisted us at the hospital, and we have hospital-trained academic radiologists that are reporting those as well. We report remotely from the clinic, so it's actually really an excellent service for the entire region. So we're very fortunate in this LIM to have the non-tertiary, non-complex capacity that we do. We're meeting, the metrics that are imposed on us by the Ministry of Health. We're doing a very good job with that, but we're falling behind with the complex cases, so thank you so much.
And I remember one or both of you telling me that there are advances in medicine that mean that the demand for tertiary MRI increases every year. So although it's 1,000 on the wait list now, and even if the new MR is in and we clear out that wait list, we are expecting that over time the number of people who need tertiary MR will grow, right?
Absolutely, it's always that field. That demand is always coming in and getting bigger year on year.
And the technology is getting better and better. It's exponential, really.
Let me ask you, how many do you do per day?
We
Is it
typically
24 hours a day
deliver from
or?
17 to 24 a day, but it depends. If it's a really complex case, it can take, like GA cases, take an hour and a half of our time. So it depends on what it is that we're doing, really.
I don't know if you heard that, it was 17 to 24 cases a day.
Depending on the type of case.
The other thing was we're the only MRI that's available 24/7, so we run the magnet book from 7 in the morning until midnight, and then we have a technologist on call after midnight, between 2,400 hours and 7 in the morning. So they come from all over the region to have their MR emergency MRI